Meghan has only been a signing agent for 45 days. What is your total since becoming a signing agent 45 days ago?
$11,500. I feel so good, Mark. So good. Ready to share my story.
Another episode with On the Road with signing agent Meghan out in Portland, Oregon. First off, Meghan, there's something that must be on the water in Portland because you guys are crushing it out there. How are you today?
I feel so good, Mark. So good. Ready to share my story.
Oh God, speaking of your story is maybe, all these stories are crazy inspirational, and yours is even crazier inspirational. So I don't want to speak for you. So let me tell you, Meghan has only been a signing agent for 45 days. In your first 30 days as a signing agent, Meghan, how much money did you make?
$7,500.
$7,500 in your first 30 days. And you're now about 45 days into your journey. What is your total since becoming a signing agent 45 days ago?
$11,500.
I'm literally speechless, and I'm not speechless. So let me just say this. For somebody, Meghan, right now, who just watched this, to just turn this on, it's like, Meghan, I find it hard to believe. I don't think you actually did that. What would you say to that person who's like, there's no way that you did $11,000 in your first 45 days of being a signing agent?
Mark said there's business for everyone. It's true. I didn't believe it, but there is truly business for everyone, and it can be done. I'm proof.
I love it. I'm so happy for you. I mean, your story, our journey together is crazy inspirational. I can't wait to tell everyone our journey. Just quick, a quick little sneak peek into what's coming up here. Meghan asked to return the course after day number 2 of having it. And now she makes $11,000 in her first 45 days. She almost threw in the towel on this journey. Could you imagine if you would have thrown in the towel?
Happy I didn't. Happy I hit you up a day later and said, may I sign up again?
So I love it. So we're going to get into that. That's what I think they call a cliffhanger in the video world. But let's get on to probably what I think is more inspirational than the money. Honestly, you know, these journeys aren't about what you guys make. It's about what it does for your families. It's about what it does for you as a person and your spirit. And so, man, I mean, I know what your story is. I'm excited to share it, but I'm going to tell you before we start, like, I don't know what I would have done if I was in your situation, and just to see your perseverance through what you're about to tell us is crazy. So, you know, with that being said, I think you've seen some of these videos. I always start with the same question. Why did you become a signing agent?
Okay, why did I become a signing agent? I'll get right to it. New mom, 9-month-old. My husband is a medical student, no income. COVID hits, and I'm in the middle of actually interviewing for jobs as an educational consultant. I have a background in education. And then COVID hits, and everything's halted. Everything stops. Interview processes, everything shuts down, literally, figuratively.
I'm like, okay, so I knew that sentence is coming out of my mouth. You say it again, and it's like gets me emotional for you. I couldn't imagine, you know, being a mother to a newborn, excited about these interviews you're doing, putting all this work into this background in education, and all of a sudden, just for lack of a better analogy, the rug gets pulled out. And you're sitting there with a newborn in your arms. Your husband's not bringing any income.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Disheartened, scared, overwhelmed. Like I need to step it up and quick. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Got to figure it out and quick. Something needs to happen quickly.
You know, it's just crazy because, you know, thank you for being very vulnerable in that moment, you know, because, you know, I think you used the word scared. I can only imagine where, you know, you're not having money coming in from this direction. You're excited about using all this background in education. I think you said you finished your master's degree, and all of a sudden you're like gung-ho about getting interviewed, and then the world stops turning, like literally. I don't know what that feels like. But what's crazy about your story versus some of our other students who lost their jobs in COVID, you know, I never really thought about people about to get hired for jobs getting that rug pulled out. I never thought about that. So it's really crazy to hear how, so, you know, that happened to you. And again, thank you for saying your story, because I'm hoping that, you know, another mom who's out there, or someone else who may have gotten their rug pulled out from because of COVID, because it happened to all of us, right? And sharing your journey about how that made you feel. So, okay, so let's talk through that. COVID happened. Your interviews, all these employers are like, obviously we're on a hiring freeze. So,
Right.
you know, what kind of kept you pushing forward in that moment? Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was kind of your mindset? So the rug got pulled out, you're scared, you're panicked, whatever word that you want to use in there. Kind of talk about your mental mindset going forward on that.
Yeah. So I'm scared. I'm disheartened. I'm beating myself up, thinking I have to step up my game, but how? How do I even? What avenue do I go to? So my cousin actually, he actually enrolled in your course first, Mark, and he posted something on Instagram about it. I'm like, let me check this out. And the rest is history.
Ah, there's no such thing as accidents. You know, I tell you students that all the time. So, you know, to make the story even more inspirational, I mean, 45 days ago, like you have no background in mortgages. You've never been a loan officer. You've never been a real estate agent. You didn't even know what a HELOC was.
Didn't know what a lien was. Nothing.
So if you can do it, do you think anybody can do this business?
Absolutely. And the best thing is you can bring your personality into it. My background in education is playing into my work as a loan signing agent every day.
No, I love how you did that. And and like I said, you know, there's things that I can't teach, right? Like your human spirit and your drive and just your enthusiasm. And so I'm so proud that you were able to take all that and you found a niche, right? I mean, could you imagine making $11,000 in 45 days and you've never been a signing agent before?
Never been a signing agent before.
Incredible.
And that's one of the things that you say right in the beginning of the course, Mark. You're like, there's business for everyone and you can start from scratch. While I started your course, got my notary commission, and I actually got everything just in time before everything shut down. So
no such accidents, man.
No such thing.
Is your husband proud of you? I mean, you're a business owner. Have you ever been a business owner before? Like now you're a full-fledged profit in the black business owner. What's your husband saying?
He's over here in the background like, whoop, whoop, whoop. My biggest cheerleader, my husband, and my first 2 weeks of loan signing, we only have one car. So my husband and my son were coming with me.
Oh, that's
cool. Yeah. And him and my son, they have a little park trip, or, you know, have some lunch while I was in the appointment. So I was really trying to make it down to 30 to 45 minutes. And yeah, it's just amazing. In the last month and a half, I've done 125 signings.
I hope people are like listening to you, just getting inspired, because I didn't know that part of your story, man, which is awesome. So your husband and your baby boy, who's now I think 13 months, you told me, were going to the signings with you with only one car, and that is what I call a team effort, by the way. Wow. I mean, I hope other people are listening to this. So not only is it possible to do this with no experience, make $11,000 in 45 days, you did it with the family in one automobile. And what I love about and first off, you're going to watch this back and your smile is so beautiful. You're smiling ear to ear this entire time. You may not even realize it, but I feel like just your excitement for life and this excitement for this business, it's coming through the video. I love it. But what's inspirational is a lot of people can make up excuses. I only have one car. I just lost my dream job. I have a 9-month-old, you know, but you said, you know what, babe, let's get in the car. You're coming with me, and I'm knocking these signings out.
Yeah.
Like incredible. Do you still have one car?
We still have one car.
Oh my gosh, that is great. That is
great. But now that I'm going direct, we've completely shifted, and now that I've started my own business, Mark, still can't believe that. now we've switched around our schedule, and I'm taking the car, and because I'm doing direct signings.
I love it. I love
and
it.
you know what? Don't work harder, work smarter. That's what you said, right?
Yes, that's the LSS mantra. And you know what I love about you is like, it's probably your background education, frankly, is, you learn something, you implement, like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, man. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a system, it's laid out, and you do it, and 45 days later, you're $11,000 more in income. And it's because you just, again, I can't take credit for that, right? You didn't reinvent the wheel. You came in, you did it, and bada boom. So you said something, Meghann, that I think is inspiring on top of all that. If you didn't think the story could get more inspiring, is, for non-LSS students, I've kind of coined getting business directly from escrow officers and mortgage officers and realtors as direct business, meaning that you're not working for the signing service and you're keeping the entire fee. So let's talk about that inspiration, because you're 45 days into the business. You've never been a signing agent before, but yet you've had the courage, the confidence to go directly to an escrow officer and say, I want to be your signing agent. So let's talk people through that. That is so awesome. So let's talk about your journey. You become a signing agent 45 days ago. Like you said, you got my course, got your notary commission while you had my course. Again, not recreating the wheel. Everything's in the course for you. So you do a week of signings. What's your first week of being a signing agent look like? Financially, how much money did you make?
My first week of signing agent, I made $1,000.
Okay. Let me just say that one more time. You made $1,000 in the first week from something you've never done before. Like, when you hear me say that, what goes through your brain? Like, it almost sounds too amazing, right?
My mind is blown. I'm like, that really actually happened. And now it seems so long ago.
I love it. A whole whopping 45 days, by the way.
A whopping 45.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about this journey to direct, right? Because we have students, as you know, I mean, you're part of the big Facebook group and the network, that still some students have not had the courage to go direct, who've not had the courage. So what clicked for you? And it still blows my mind, because, I do these interviews with students who've been in business 2 years. You've been in business 45 days. So what clicked to you after week number 1 where you're like, I need to go direct?
Yeah. So that first week, while I made $1,000 and my mind was blown, I worked so hard for that $1,000. I was exhausted, completely spent. And so I went back through some videos in the course, looked up some videos on marketing direct, and I knew that I needed to work smarter, not harder. I needed to go direct. No other option.
No other option. I love that you just said that, because when that's your frame of mind, when that's your mentality, there's no other option, and if you had a husband who's with student loans, and you have literally an infant, 9 months old, I call that an infant,
Yep.
When your back's against the wall and you have something bigger than you, and when your why is bigger than what it takes, what I always tell you guys, when your why is bigger than the effort it takes to accomplish something, it's amazing what we can accomplish. And you summed it up the best by saying, I had no other option. This is what you had to do for your family. This is what you had to do to make twice the money for the exact same amount of work. So I loved you talk through that. I had no other option. That should be like a quote on an LSS shirt. It's like, when you have that mentality that you have no other option, you go direct. Like, you're not any different than the signing service who's marketing to them. You could this directly. I'm so proud of you just saying, dude, I'm going to jump back in the course and I'm going to do it. So let's inspire some people. When you're going into the escrow office for the first time, let me take one more back. Let me back up before I say that. So your background's in education, right? Your background's not in sales. You weren't like a realtor. You didn't sell cell phones or a car. And the reason I say that is because some people say, oh, well, you have to be a natural born salesperson to get direct business, And so I want to break down that myth that you're basically an educator, a teacher, not a salesperson going into marketing direct. Is that correct?
Right. Exactly. And so I took that background in education, being a teacher. So when you're standing in front of a group of 25 to 30 kids, you have to be succinct. You have to be straight to the point, but you're also catering to these different learning styles and personalities. Think about that like escrow officers. They have many different personalities, many different learning styles, the way that they deal with people. and I need to come from a way that, that I can connect. So I just come very directly. And I'm also originally from New York. Yeah, New York. So we're naturally very direct people, very blunt and straight to the point.
Dropping fire in here, man. I love how you take your natural, who you are, and you made that in a signing agent business. You didn't say it as a negative, oh, I wasn't in sales. I have to talk to 30 kids. I know how to talk to each kid directly. And with that fits their personality type. Oh, Meghann, that was such a good nugget. And going into an escrow office is no different. You see them as someone that I got to figure out how can I connect. And bada bing, dude, that's so freaking good. I love these interviews. Okay, so, and the reason I brought up the lack of a sales background is because I wanted people to realize you're not a salesman.
No, not by any means.
But I also want to ask you, were you nervous? What were the feelings were you having before you walked into the escrow office where you didn't know anybody? Talk to you, because I think that's the apprehension of some of our fellow students, and maybe someone watching this right now is just, oh man, I can't get over that hump, which I get. So were you nervous? Talk through how you felt the first couple times before you walked into a building.
Yeah, right. Just because I jumped into it doesn't mean I wasn't nervous. I knew that was my only option. So I had to jump. Also, from being on the Facebook group and seeing so many different stories, my advice is be inspired, but follow your own path.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, follow your own path. Do what works for your situation. And my situation called for going direct.
I love it. I love it. And so, I appreciate you saying that, that you are New Yorker. So you have that really good charismatic energy, but you're still nervous. And I appreciate you honest.
Scared all around.
I love it. I love it. But I always tell you students, even if they said no, you're still breathing. You know what I mean? We're still here. You still have a beautiful baby boy. You still got a beautiful husband. You know what I mean? So, but I appreciate you talking through this fact that I was intimidated as anyone else is,
But I walked into 2 escrow offices and got rejected.
I love that you say that. I love the honesty and what I teach you guys, is look, not everybody drinks Starbucks. Not everybody drives a Toyota. Not everybody uses an iPhone. It doesn't mean any of those products aren't good. It doesn't mean that you're not a great signing agent, right? I mean, it's called business. Yeah. Not everyone's going to use every product. And that doesn't mean that you're any less of a great signing agent. So I love that you talked about how you got rejected. And look, not everybody takes the loan signing system. That's okay. I know that it's not a reflection of me. It's just business. So I love how you talk through that. It's so amazing. Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about the income part of that, right? So week number 1, you're making $1,000. Week number 2, you're like, dude, I got to go direct. What's your income looking week number 2?
Week number 2, my income, it jumps to $1,600.
Okay, you got to be excited right now, right? You're doing $1,600 week number 2. And so, you made $7,500 your first 30 days. So you were just rocking week number 3. So what's week number 3 look like? How much money are you making?
Oh man, week number 3. So, I made double. Yeah. What was double that? So it was probably $2,600.
Oh, that's amazing. How many signings have you done to this point? You said earlier.
125.
125 signings in the first 45 days of being a signing agent in Portland, Oregon. I can't say that enough. This is crazy because our last on their own signing agent was another student from Portland, Oregon. And right, Portland in the house. But it's not like you guys are in LA. It's not like you're in Seattle. It's not like you're in Miami. It's not like you're in Dallas. I mean, mind you, Portland's a city, but you're not a major city, and you're doing 11 grand your first 45 days, right? Mike did 12 grand in 30 days last month. So there's business for everybody.
That's awesome. Let's go.
Go. And that's another loan signing system trait, man. We always root each other on. There's business for all of us. We all can make our dreams come true. And your dreams are coming true. 45 days ago, dude, you weren't a signing. Now you have a $11,000 in revenue business. I mean, I don't think I've told you this yet. You are my quickest student to the 7K club. And we have a lot of students. And so be proud, man. I mean, you went direct. I mean, after week number 1, you realized what you were worth. You realized that you were capable. you realize that any mental hurdles were just mental hurdles and you had to jump over them. I mean, a lot of people, Meghann, would have got that phone call from the interviewer saying we're on a hiring freeze, and they could have crumbled. And you didn't.
Yeah.
You showed baby boy how strong you are. His mother, you'd be proud of his mom. I'm proud of you, because there's choices you could have made that you didn't make.
Yeah.
And you made a choice. You said, look, I'm going to take a risk on me, faith on me. Like, let's go.
Yes, let's go.
I love it. Okay.
I believe it. And even when I first started going direct, I didn't even have business cards. I didn't even have business cards. They'd be like, leave your business card. You can write down my information. I was asking them to write down my information because I didn't even think I was starting a business.
That's right. I love it.
But
it's possible, man.
It's
all
amazing.
possible.
It's all possible. There's business for everyone. Be inspired. Take your own path. It's just such a good feeling. Such a good feeling.
Okay, let's talk back. Let's talk about what you just said a couple times. I think it's really cool. Be inspired. Take your own path. So, I always ask, you successful signing agents, and by the way, $7,000 a month, that's successful. So hold your head high, girl. Like, let's go. So I always ask you successful signing agents, what's a piece of advice you would give a signing agent to help grow their business? And I think you hit it on the nail, but let's talk about that deeper, right? So what do you mean by be inspired, but take your own path? So talk to me what that means to you.
I mean, you've done such a great job, Mark, of creating that course, also creating the Facebook group and those webinars that we can watch, all the people before me that have done these interviews. So even while you're watching them, they're so inspiring. Some people took a year to get into it. Some people took a couple months to get into it. So while you're watching these, be inspired, but take your own path. Think about what works for you. When you have no other option, what's going to work for you? And do that. Just go for it.
I love it. So what I'm hearing, by the way, what I think it's beautiful. We should do like an LSS clothing line together, because I love like the be inspired, take your own path. That should also be another T-shirt. But let me dig into that deeper though, because I think it's a really cool point. Is you were inspired by, let's say, Ashley Bolden, right? Who was amazing.
I was inspired by Ashley Bolden.
And so the point I'm trying to make is, but yet while you're inspired, you still needed to blaze your own trail. You didn't have to do what she did, right? Is that what I'm hearing? It's like what I'm hearing is be inspired by the Bill Zanungas who makes $20,000 a month, but build your own path to that destination. Is that what I'm hearing? Like,
absolutely. And even while I was building my own path, I mean, I was setting goals at like, all right, let's make $500 a month. And then I would double that. I set another goal. I'd make $1,000 a month, and then I'd triple that. I think because I just wanted to go into it, my expectations were pretty low, but my genuine spirit and my drive were high.
Right.
I didn't know about any of this, but I knew that I could learn along the way. I could implement what you were teaching me, make it my own, and clearly the sky's the limit.
I love it. So, what I want people to be inspired by is like, what I hear too, you are inspired by Bill Zanunga's $20,000 a month, Shelley Poe's $20,000 a month, Karen Spain's $20,000 a month. You're not discouraged by it, right? You're not seeing their success as your failure. You're seeing their success as something to strive for. So I think it's another beautiful mindset that you have, where some people see, oh, Adam Thackeray made 20 grand. I only made 7. I must be doing something wrong, versus Adam did 20 grand. So can I. Like, this is like, they're blazing the path of what's possible for me. And that mindset, talk through how you're not discouraged by someone else's success, but yet you're inspired by it.
Oh, absolutely. And so when somebody would post their success on the Facebook page, I might message them personally or even reach out to them right there and say, yeah, way to go. Can I ask, how did you do that? Get little nuggets. And I'd write them down. I had a little notebook, little nuggets like, okay, when you do this, do this. When you do this, do this. And then I implemented that as a true teacher, right?
That's right. Oh my gosh, you gave another amazing nugget. I hope the LSS students who are watching this are inspired. I love that you reached out to some of the other students. again, I can't take credit for your amazingness. I can put you guys in, I can give you the tools. It's how you use the tools that determines where you build your business. The fact that you are reaching out to some of the other students, picking their brains, that's what successful people do, man. I mean, look, call me crazy, but I think you found your business. I know you have all this years of an education, but like, I think the other thing you learn from education is actually making you a better business owner. That's what my personal take on it is.
I have to agree. I'm starting to rethink my career completely, and that's what being a loan signing agent affords you.
That's right. And that's what I would argue being an entrepreneur affords you. Is options. It's a new sense of future. It's a new sense of, if it's up to me, it's meant to be, right? You literally said, I had no other option after week number 1. We have students who have not gone direct after year 1, let it go week 1. But you said, I had no other options, right? And I love how you take other people's information. You're not afraid to reach out to them. You're not afraid to be inspired by them. And I love it. I try to teach you students so much, because someone else has succeeded doesn't mean you're failing. When someone else has succeeded, it should show you what's possible, not saying you're not doing well. And I love that you naturally have taken that upon yourself to be inspired by other people and reach out. I love it. I mean, this is such an awesome, I'm so proud of you. I'm like so proud of you. Look, I want you to hear this right now on camera, on record. You're going to have a signing service within the end of this year. Within the first calendar year, that's the goal you need to be going. Your next goal is to be in the 10K club. And then I need you to deepening those relationships. And then I want other people working for you.
To think that after a couple of days when I first signed up for your course, that I emailed you and said, hey, Mark, can I have a refund, please? This is not working out for me. And you emailed me the next morning and said, absolutely, Meghann, sure. And first off, I was surprised. You're accessible. You emailed back. You answered the phone. Remember when I first called you?
100%, man.
And it was just wonderful. And then you said, yep, absolutely, that's fine. It's canceled. I hope that you are staying well in this time. And I was like, wow, what a great guy. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. A day later, I said, hey, can I sign up again? I signed up again, finished your course in a week. And the rest is history. Okay. But not to say that me finishing your course in a week, I also saw other people, they were like, oh, it's going to take me 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time. That goes back to that no other option.
No other option. I love it. So let's talk through it actually. Okay. So let's segue into kind of the last part of this conversation, because I think this is powerful. The fact that you, for lack of a better word, gave up. Yeah. And then you said, I'm back in. So let's talk about that. Because look, you're not the first LSS student to give up. You're not the first person in general to kind of throw in the towel. So, but what I think is inspiring, it's like your whole story is crazy inspiring, but you had a moment of feeling defeated, and I'm gonna ask to dig into that in a moment, if that's okay. And then you rose from that feeling and said, I'm gonna do it again. So, because the reason I want to dig in this a little bit, Meghann, is you're not the only person to feel defeated. And I appreciate you. Some people would hold that behind the closet and not share that. And so I would like to inspire someone else. Maybe someone in the group hasn't asked for the course back and their money back, but they yet still feel defeated. So I want to talk about how the feeling of it, if you don't mind. Yeah. But then I want to talk about how you picked yourself back up. So, because I want to inspire on both sides here. So let's talk about a student right now. Speak to a student, let them know they're not alone. Talk about why you want to return the course, like what feelings are you going on, and why, the real reason, and then let's talk about the next part. So talk about the feeling of defeation.
Yeah, so I started your course. I started, watching all the videos, and also got signed up with the Facebook group. So I was hearing everybody's stories, and again, that feeling of being scared, kind of disheartened. I didn't know if it would take. I didn't know if I'd be good at it. I was also watching your videos on the perfect signing. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Being scared of what could be. It didn't even happen yet, but just being scared of the future, being involved in something I had never done. So,
well, I think it was really deep, man. And let's talk through it if you don't mind. What I heard was self-doubt.
A lot of self-doubt.
That's what I heard. I heard self-doubt. And so you're not the only person who have self-doubt. And so thank you for sharing that again, because, you know, there are people in here or students or some maybe watching us right now who like, you know, will this work for me? Am I do it? And really what that is just negative self-talk that we're saying about ourselves, right? I mean, look, you have a master's degree, you're as genius as anybody out there, but yet you still have this self-doubt. And so I think that's powerful, right? And what I try to teach you guys is if you can talk to yourself negatively, you can talk to yourself positively. And so what changed, right? So you asked me for a refund back. I gave it to you back. What changed? Talk through that kind of, for, you know, that rising from the ashes moment.
Yeah, I actually I went back and started watching some of your free videos, because when I signed up with your course, I hadn't watched any of your videos before then. I just signed up with your course and I started from there. You had a mentorship webinar talking about taking the emotion out of it.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So this is crazy. So what I also hear now, which I think is powerful, is, and I love these interviews because they're like super organic, right? Is you were drinking out of a fire hose. You probably felt overwhelmed with all this information. You didn't even know what a lien was. You didn't know what a HELOC was.
Right. No background in this. Right.
Right. And so because of the lack of background, you felt overwhelmed, which then led to self-doubt.
Right.
It's interesting. It's a crazy journey, but it's a real journey. And I'm sure there's other students who also feel like they're drinking out of a fire hose. And then which leads to like, can I really do this? And then you got to a point of like, I'm giving up. I want my money back. But then it clicked. Like, no, I can do this. Wow, dude, such a great, your story is really cool. I mean, I could imagine, you add on all the outside pressures of COVID, shelter at home, on top of like drinking out of a fire hose, your dream job being taken away from you. So my point is like your emotions and like, must have been pulled in a million different directions.
All over the place. So many different directions.
But you came back full circle and you said, I'm going to do this. Right. And so let's talk about that. So you watched the mentorship, or it resonated with you that I said, you got to take some emotions out of business. Mm-hmm. Business is about rational decisions. And again, I love that you're an implementer, man. I taught that and you used it. And so many people will hear some of my teachings, but not use it. Right. The educator in you is like, if I'm going to take it in, I got to implement it. And so you follow some before you. So what changed for you though? And that's what I'm trying to inspire the person who's feeling a little defeated right now.
Right.
When you said, I'm going to make this, I can do this, like talk through that kind of rise again.
Right. And so take the emotion out of it. And that also, because I was so scared to start the signings. I was so scared to market direct. Take the emotion out of it. Just go ahead and do it. It's crazy to think about now, all of those things I was scared about, mm-hmm. all of those things I overthought, mm-hmm. But those also overthinking set me up for greatness. Mm-hmm. Rewatching your videos set me up for greatness. Making sure that I was overly prepared mm-hmm. set me up for seamless signings.
It's turning our weaknesses into strengths. And that is the testament and character of a successful person, is we all have weaknesses. No, I'm not any different, right? We all have weaknesses, but it's turning your weaknesses into your strengths and not letting your weaknesses defeat you, which is a mark of a successful person. And I would argue $7,500 in your first 30 days. Like, get out of here with that, man.
I know, you keep saying it and I'm like, I think I just shouted, but you keep saying it and I'm like,
I mean, you're gonna
it's almost like as you keep saying it, I keep wanting to hear it. I just keep wanting to strive harder. I keep wanting to go. It's good feelings. It's good feelings.
I mean, look, you're going to be in the 10K club. I'm so proud of you. So I hope people, look, I got juiced after this, man. I want to go run through a brick wall. Like, you inspire me. I mean, honestly, you had every reason to give up.
Yeah.
You're an infant. You lost your dream job. You just put in 8 years of education only to have your dream job pulled away from you. You have a 9-month-old in your arms, and you have a family that's counting on this job, and gone.
Yep.
But you didn't let that define you. You didn't let that become who you are. Everything, bad things happen to everybody.
Yeah.
It's how you react to those bad things that really sets up your direction. And Meg, dude, let's go.
You know, yeah, just taking it, you can't compare struggle. You have to do what works for your situation. And just bring your background into it. Bring that genuine spirit. Bring that personality. You know, if you get excited about things, bring that, you know, and that'll shine through every single time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So on the way out, amazing. Thank you again. And if most of you don't know, this is being shot on a Sunday afternoon. So thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with me so we can inspire the next signing agent out there, the next Meghan. But on the way out the door here, inspire the next signing agent. Inspire the signing. Somebody's watching this right now on YouTube saying, Meghan, I don't know if I can do it. You know, Meghan, I'm struggling. Meghan, I inspire the next signing agent watching this right now. Speak to them. Give them some words of inspiration.
Self-doubt is normal. It will be there. I think if you say that you didn't have any self-doubt in the beginning, you'd be lying to yourself. Mm-hmm. But when you know there's no other option, or, you know, I just need to do this. I need to be the breadwinner for my family, mm-hmm. You know, just go for it. Go for it. The worst that could happen is that you learn a bunch about real estate. You know about liens, you know about escrow officers, you know about title companies, you know about PCORs, 1003s, HELOCs, reverse mortgages, you know? And then when you go into it, you're like, when you go buy a house, or maybe you're advising your family to buy a house, you know, you're an absolute G. You're like,
I love it. You're dropping it. You're dropping knowledge like you've been doing this for 5 years, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look, I always tell people, like, you know, I had the self-doubt. When I first put my first video on YouTube, I was like, what are people going to say? What are people going to do? People are going to make fun of me. I'm just this random notary in San Diego. And so I'm the same way. I have self-doubt. You have self-doubt. Now you made $7,500 in your first 30 days. I love how you said everybody has self-doubt, and it's the truth. And if they say they don't, they're not being honest. That's all I'm saying.
So, genuine. You're not being truthful.
That's good. I agree. All right, Meghan, again, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you.
So much. Thank you, Mark.
Proud of you. You're so welcome. I will see you in the 10K Club. And we're going to have the next signing service come out of Portland, Oregon by year's end. Woo! Holding you to that. Let's go. Until next time, Meghan. Bye.
Bye-bye.